Hey everybody, welcome to Level Pixel Level. In the last video we just cleaned up the hands, and I just want to keep sort of cleaning up just some weight painting just before I add controls. There's a couple things I want to clean up in the hips and the spine and the head, so I'll do some of that right now. The first thing I notice in the head is that when I rotate the head joint right here, the helmet and the eyes aren't moving with it. So that's an easy fix. I can just select these joints. I'm just selecting them in pose mode as well. It doesn't matter what mode I select them in. I'm going to shift click on the head joint here. I flip to edit mode and do Control P, keep offset. Now when I rotate the head, everything is moving together. What I might do eventually is put like a nice IK floor node on this just to keep it always pointing down, but I'll do that when I get to the control rig. Okay, so let's talk about the leg joint here. I just noticed something when I push this out. Actually might be in the pelvis joint here. Yeah, so I'm getting something moving over here. So that means that I've weighted something in the arm to the leg by accident. This happens from time to time. It's really easy to fix. It's not the end of the world. I'll just show you how to fix it right now. So let me just get rid of the shield and the sword here. Just drag them into the earth. What I'll usually do to fix this is just give this a really obnoxious pose. So I'll grab the pelvis and probably just keep going. Then I click on the rig in object mode and shift click on the mesh. I flip to weight paint mode. And I'm just going to go through some of these joints down here and just see where it might be attached to. Now, I'm not seeing any values here. Let me flip to material mode. There's another way to do this. I'm going to flip to vertex mode, and I'm going to control click on this vertex right here. Again, to flip to vertex mode, I turned on this vertex option here, and I can also do that with V. And I control clicked on that vertex right there. If I come to item, what I'm going to see here is my vertex weight because I have this one selected, and it's going to show me all the weight paint groups that are making up that vertex. So you look here, I have hip.01 and it's looking at a 0.3. I can even select vertexes here and bring up that option. So now I'm going to go to tool and I'm going to go to subtract. I'm just going to subtract that. I'm going to turn off front faces only. Just so that I can see it and just keep subtracting. Now if I come back to item, notice that hip.01 right is at 0. That's perfect. So that fixes that. So I'll go back to my rig and I'll just keep playing with the pelvis joint there, and that's looking good. Okay, talking about the legs really quick, I am actually liking the way they're working. I think everything is fine on them. I might have to play around with the way the spine reacts to it later on, but actually let's fix that right there. So there is an issue with the pelvis control. If I just flip this forward, as I rotate that from side to side, I want it to bring all the middle pieces with it. So I'll fix that right now. I'll go to object mode, I'll shift click on the armature, I'll shift click on the object, and I'll flip to weight paint. And I just want to weight paint this one up a little bit more, so I'm just going to select everything. Let me just see what else it's actually connected to. So I'm going to exit vertex mode so I can control click. Yeah, so it's looking mostly at that spine joint right there, and I want to remove all the weights from that. So what I'll probably do is just click on the pelvis joint, hit V, and just paint some of these vertexes. I'll flip my brush to add, and I'll just give it a little bit of value, and I'm not going to paint it all the way. And I'm going to show you why in a minute, why I'm not going to paint it all the way through right now. I just want to paint it enough that I can actually subtract from the spine. So now I'm going to hit V again, control click on the spine, click back on the pelvis, and go to my subtract brush. I had to give it a little bit of value to the pelvis so that it would actually let me subtract from the spine right here. And my auto normalize is just taking care of all the calculations there. So I'm also going to just subtract from some of these places here too. And the last one will just be right here. Now I can't really see the vertex that I'm subtracting from here. So I'll just finish that one right there. What I'll probably do is just go to edit mode, control click on this piece here, hide everything else, and then go back to vertex mode here and just subtract it. That's it. I'll flip back to edit mode, unhide, and now I'll test the pelvis control. Yep, that's working a lot better. Let me just play with the leg here too. So that's good. I don't like how much it's moving in the middle, so I'll grab the pelvis and just bring that back. I'm going to flip to my add brush, and I'll just weight paint that over, and I'll weight paint that over as well too. So I accidentally painted to this one back here. I'm just going to grab it and just paint it back to this guy here. So again, I'm just moving it to pose it, just to get it out of the way. Sometimes I find that easier just to move it away from the other bones while I'm weight painting it. So I got some weights there. To fix that, I'm just going to go to subtract. I'll just subtract those weights. Okay, so now I'm really liking the way the control here is actually carrying all those pieces with it. Let's just standard cleanup on rigs. I'll just zero out all the controls. Let me just get rid of that sword and that shield again. Okay, I'll keep going up the spine. There was a couple more things I wanted to actually adjust. Okay, I'm happy with that at the front, and I like how it is moving the back armor but not the front. I'm okay with that, although I wanted to stretch that shirt part right there. So I'll leave it in that pose. I'll go back to object mode, and I'll shift click on the object, and I'll go to weight paint mode. Okay, so it's this one here that I want to weight paint it to. So go to my add brush. And what I'll probably do actually is just select this ring right here in edit mode, just so that when I flip back to weight paint mode and I go to my vertex, I can just paint these up and not worry about painting other pieces. Now it's going through the geometry right there on his body. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to get this weight painted, and then I'll go back and fix that. So it's looking good like that. And there's one more inside here that I probably have to fix, and I just got to find it. Okay, what I'm going to do is go to edit mode, do Control I, and just hide everything. Oh, and I think that is actually it. Okay, so that's not a full piece right there. That's actually caved in the middle, so that should be fine. Okay, so this piece here, I can weight paint that as well too. I'll just paint that up and paint that up. That should be fine. Let me just test that. Yep, I'm liking that. It is coming through a little bit right here. I'm going to see if that's going to be a problem in animation. I'm not going to worry about that right now, because for him to do a pose with just one spine joint like that, that's pretty extreme. So I'm not too worried about it going all the way through. Again, I do now have a problem over here where I've weight painted to some of these pieces. So what I'll do is just go back to here and just weight paint them down again. Another way to do this would be to separate all of the geometry. I'm keeping it as one piece right now, just to show you some of the challenges that that does bring about. The other issue with having lots of different geometry is that you're constantly having to switch between pieces when you're weight painting, or sometimes I like to just have everything on one piece, just so I'm dealing with everything at the same time and I'm not constantly switching between objects. Okay, so I'm liking that. And there's one last thing I did want to fix, and that was in the upper spine joint here. I'm happy with that. Yeah, it was right here. As I bring this forward, I'm getting that collision of that inner body into the armor there. There's a couple ways I can fix this. I'm just going to grab that mesh in edit mode. So I can grab on that plane right there, do Control plus on my number pad, then Control I and just hide that. I can just see what that's doing. So I'll click on my rig now, and I'll just shift click on the object and flip to weight paint mode. Now if I hit V, I can isolate that point. I'm just going to give it a pose, and I'll just hit V again. I'll just see what's going on. Okay, so I'm getting that coming through there. I could try to weight paint that. I'm actually going to solve it with another method. So I'm going to go back to edit mode on this rig, and I'm going to actually go to my paint fix shape key here that I have. I'm going to grab these 3 vertexes and I'm just going to push them in. You know, I never see them anyway, so why bother weight painting it? Why bother fighting it? Just going to push them in. The only way I'll really see this is if his armor comes off, so yeah, I'm a lot happier with that. Alright, so this was just my last pass of weight painting before I start adding control bones. It's just some things that I wanted to get sorted out just to finesse it and clean it up before I actually start adding controls and trying out animation. There will be a little bit of a last pass of weight painting right at the end, but I'm fairly happy with the way things are working now that I want to try an animation cycle, like a walk cycle or a run cycle, just to see how everything is working. Then I can figure out where to point my attention. I don't want to focus on problems that I might never see. So I could end up weight painting the hand for days, but if the armor and the sword is covering it the entire time, I don't want to focus on it. So in the next video, I'll be beginning the control structure. I'll probably be starting with the spine, then moving on to the limbs. It'll be a fairly simple control structure, and it'll actually be a separate rig. Anyway, big thank you to my patrons for supporting this video. It's because of you guys that I can continue to make these videos. Head over there if you want exclusive content, early access, and some behind-the-scenes footage. Thank you as well for watching. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye!